Hey everyone, Joe here. I hope it's not too bright. I've got my daylight functioning as my video camera light today because it's late, it's almost midnight, and I just got home on a Thursday night. So I'm going to upload this video usually around midnight. You know, me, I'm a little bit OCD, I think, about getting it in on first thing Friday morning. Anyhow, this week's topic on Genderqueer Chat is just recap your holidays and your kind of update your life, which is kind of cute. I always feel a little bit weird talking about this because I feel like I'm just so stubborn and so stick in the mud about all my opinions. I'm so opinionated. I'm so judgmental. But here's the deal. I do not celebrate Christmas, New Year's. I do not celebrate Hallmark holidays. There's only one thing I celebrate in the year, and that's actually spring solstice, which I call astrological New Year's, and that's in March. So this time of year, I typically boycott the season, and I actually, I'm a bit of a stickler for it. Like I stopped celebrating Christmas in 2000, so it's been almost 11 years. This was, I think, my 11th year not celebrating. And I got 4 Christmas cards in the mail by 4 people who didn't know that I don't celebrate it, but everyone else has crossed me off their list. I don't get presents. I don't give presents. And that is twofold. The reasons behind that are twofold. One is that I grew up in that hyper-Christian family where it was all about Jesus, and so all we did was celebrate the birth of Jesus. So there were actually not a lot of presents when I was a kid. We got 1 or 2 things from Mom and Dad, and usually 1 thing from Santa. And then I got in this big argument with my mother about Santa when I was 8 because I didn't, I figured out that Santa was giving like expensive gifts to rich kids, and we would like get like 1 crappy gift, and pissed me off. So, the whole religious thing turned me off Christmas. To me, Christmas is Christian. And I always laugh when people say it's not, because I guess in the U.S., I guess and maybe in Canada as well, but I know when I was a kid and in my culture, we were raised, like my family's Eastern European, Christian, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus. So if I'm not Christian, I'm not going to celebrate the birth of Jesus. Then there was the whole aspect of, sorry, I'm freezing. It's really cold here tonight. The whole consumer aspect. I'm not into conspicuous consumption, and I'm not into buying crap that I don't need. In 1999, the last year that I did celebrate Christmas, I had a boyfriend who had 3 kids, and I remember him giving me $500 and asking me on Christmas Eve and saying, "Can you buy the kids their presents this year? I'm busy." And it was a nightmare, and all this plastic crap at Walmart, and I remember the nonsense, and I remember all the kids breaking their toys in the morning. It was a bad experience. So I bow out. Also, this time of year, December 21st, is the shortest day of the year, and I'm extremely sensitive to sunlight and the lack of it. And truth be told, I'm a bummer this time of year. I have not been myself. I'm actually a little bit freaking out because I was noticing my mind was working a little bit differently these last couple of weeks. I would go as far as to call it depression, and that's a bad word in my mouth. I hate using the word depressed to describe myself because I don't think I am, but the fact is I do get seasonally depressed, and I'm really looking forward to the days getting longer. So this time of year, I just lay low. Seriously. Crawl under the electric blanket. I watch Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you guys know that show, but it's a Canadian sitcom that's freaking hysterically funny, and it's stupid and rude and raw, and so on the 24th and the 25th, I just watched like 4 seasons of Trailer Park Boys. By the way, the weeks leading up to the days off work, which I had, my friend Christine came to visit from New York City. She and I grew up together, and she suffers from seasonal affective disorder. Actually, technically, she's bipolar, and she has all kinds of disorders that she's medicated for. And I was a little bit worried about her coming this time of year because I know she's prone to depression. And she was actually a hoot. We had a really good time together. I hadn't seen her in 2 years, and part of that I hadn't seen her for 10 years. So she came to stay with me, and I moved out to the country, as you know, and I'm a hoarder, and I didn't know. And she actually woke me up to the idea that I'm a hoarder. I had no idea. I know I am a little bit. I'm talking about food specifically. So she was here, and she said, I said, "What do you want for breakfast?" She said, "Cereal." I said, "Well, I have, cornbread and mini wheats and Cheerios." And she started laughing. I had 7 kinds of cereal. I had 5 jars of peanut butter, 4 bottles of jam. 7 frozen pizzas. It's just insane. It's just so much freaking food. So she's actually got me wise to that, and I'm going to start eating what's in the house. There's a moratorium on shopping. I'm no longer allowed to buy food until further notice, until I eat what's here. So that's a riot. There was another girl that came to visit my friend Vicky from childhood. She was a childhood friend of mine, and she brought her son with her, so that was nice to see her. But she reminded me, and actually tonight, I'm sorry, I'm scattered. I'm really all over the map. Tonight, I just got back from visiting with two friends of mine from Winnipeg, Manitoba that dear friends of mine. They recently got married. And I love to see them, but they're like a very cisgendered, heterosexual married couple. And my friend Vicky is a mother with a son. And a lot of people in my world are kind of married with kids or living very, very hetero lives and very cisgendered lives. And that always rattles me. It always really rattles me. It always makes me feel like a real outsider. One of the documentaries that I watched on Netflix this past week, since I was laying under the electric blanket off work, hiding under the blanket, was a documentary about, I think it was called This Emotional Life by PBS. I think that's what it was called. And this one episode was about happiness. And they were saying how happiness, money doesn't make you happy and kids don't make you happy. But really, truly, what does make you happy is like-minded people, like having connections with other people in this world. And sometimes I feel like I'm really lacking that. Like I have these sort of faux friendships. I have a lot of acquaintances and a lot of, Facebook friends, but I do not have a lot of real life friends. And I'm historically, I'm known for actually having friends and then dropping them. I'm a terrible friend. So that's been playing on my mind lately. Again, laying under the blanket, being mopey. So having Vicky visit was great because she is a friend, but I probably won't see her again. She lives far away. Christine lives in New York City. I don't see her very often. Although she and I did click. It was really, really good to see her again. But then something else happened. On the evening of the 24th, my neighbors came by and invited me over for supper, which is, of course, their Christmas dinner. And I don't know if they felt sorry for me because I live alone or I don't know what, but they invited me over for supper. And I actually said, yes, I would like to go because I really like my neighbor. And I'd like to be friends with her. And I'm not going to turn down a dinner invitation. But let's be frank, they invited me over for Christmas dinner. And I haven't had Christmas dinner in 11 years. And it was very formal. Like it was, turkey and stuffing and all that. And I went into the house and I sat down. And all the men were sitting around the table. And I just instinctively sat down with them. And all the women were in the kitchen fussing over the dinner. And they all served, the women served the dinner and the men just ate. And I immediately had this sense of anger and I don't know, it was just a flashback to the childhood. That was another thing I hated about Christmases growing up. The men were always drunk, playing music. My father's a musician and my uncle, they always played guitar and sang really loudly and overpowered the whole room. And the women were always in the kitchen cleaning up and serving and cooking and doing women's work. And very, very vivid childhood memories of mine that turned me off being a woman, right? Doing women's work, being stuck doing those duties when I would rather be playing guitar, singing in the living room, not with a bunch of drunks, but so getting to see them and have that dinner was a little bit weird. I have to admit, it was a little bit strange. But I enjoyed it. I was glad to be invited because, like I said, I don't have a lot of friends. So anytime somebody's going to invite me over, I'm probably going to say yes. I think that might be my, not resolution, because again, this is not my New Year's. The January 1st is not something I typically celebrate. My New Year's is March 21st. And actually, as we get closer to that date, I'll probably tell you about the little ceremony that I do down there. But I do a lot of resolutions on the spring solstice. As I was driving to work the other day, I saw something completely beautiful. I saw 2 deer. For the first time since I moved out to the country, I saw deer prancing. And they prance like let me get the hand gesture. Like it's beautiful. It's a real mesmerizing thing to watch. And I watched their little bums disappear in the distance. And it was so beautiful to see. I really, really enjoyed that. And then today, my mom spends every Wednesday night here. So Thursday morning, we were driving back to the city. And everything was covered in a beautiful shimmering layer of frost. It was really something to see. Quite possibly the most beautiful commute since I moved out here. My mom and I were just agog the whole way. So I was really enjoying that. I'm trying to grasp little nuggets of joy with each day, because I know this time of year is hard on my soul and I get very critical of myself and critical of everyone around me. I always can't stand being around festive people. They kind of annoy me. I'm a Scrooge. Let's be frank, I'm a Scrooge. So Vicky, Christine, Grant and Jill, my Winnipeg friends, days off under the blanket watching Trailer Park Boys. Oh, I tried to, I bought a bed. Actually bought a bed, and I bought a little dresser to kind of clean up the cat litter area and make use of the vertical space. So I was doing some stuff around the house. And I'm kind of excited about the bed because I haven't had a double bed in years. But there's not enough room on my single bed for me and the cat. What a spinster am I, eh? S-P-I-N-S-T-R-R-R. That's for you, Callie. By the way, I did want to give a shout out to all of my genderqueer chat folks because I love you guys. And I know we don't really talk about each other in our videos. But Callie, I love you. I love everything you say every week. I really look forward to your videos. Peter, you too. Jan, you too. Micah, did I pronounce that correctly? And who else is on our channel? Stefan and Keenan. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all you guys because I love being part of this channel. And that has been a real plus to my 2010 getting added to this channel. And I really value everybody's input every week. I really look forward to the videos every day. So I think that's it. I'm going to bid you adieu and get under the electric blanket because I am frozen. Good night.